Hey Ranger Nation, welcome back to another video about Dino Fury, and today we're episode 10. Words not escape my mouth properly. We're reviewing episode 10 of Dino Fury, and I've got to admit, this is, I think, by far one of my favorite episodes so far. I've not seen episode 11 yet, so far episode 10 is one of my favorites, and this is literally, I think this is a fun episode. It shows a lot of deception, and it shows a lot of kind of trickery, and I absolutely adore this episode. This is fantastic. So before we begin, if you want to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. So let's jump straight into this. So basically in this episode we're introduced to a new character called Slifer. I keep thinking Cypher from Pokemon though, but it's an easier name to remember. So Slifer is basically the character from Rear Soldier. I can't remember his name, so if you know, let me know down below in the comments. So Mucus has made this new character, this new robot general, and basically they're using the same sort of tactic that Boom Tower used by putting a Sporex into it, into the monster or the robot to actually like up the power, etc., etc. Now Slifer has the ability to transform into multiple people. You know, he's able to shapeshift. And I generally really kind of thought that was really, really cool. So it's a fun episode. I actually really like it. So in this episode, Zato contacts his home planet, Rafcon, and says, hey, is anyone out there? You know, I'm still alive. And sends out the signal. It's a really cool thing to do because you think that they'd be doing this all the time. They're using a different device to kind of send out the information. And this is when Slifer actually hears it and is like, okay, I'm now going to use this to my advantage. So rather than kind of teleporting in straight away, they kind of wait for a while. Solon then turned, before they send the signal, Solon turns up and gives like food to Zato and says, hey, I found it in your books, like this recipe, so I made it for you, here you go. And he eats it, he's like, whoa, what is this? And then he realizes that it's dog food, so he basically shows her what she fed him, and she's like, oh god, I'm so sorry, and then pulls up a bone and says like, oh well, this is for dessert, and just kind of like throws it because obviously Zato's not going to eat it. And I generally found this kind of interesting. Now the next part, I've got to admit, I really love J-Borg. Like, she is one of my favorite characters in this. So we're back at Buzz Blast, and they're making a video talking about a collar that could change the mood of cats and pets and stuff like that. But they're talking about it putting it onto an android. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a cool thing. But how many people in the Power Ranger universe would be able to afford an android or have an android at their home? Like, I don't know. It's like, I think this would be really expensive. So they Jane puts on J-Borg the collar, and then she turns into a cat, J-Borg that is, and she sees a dog, and the dog, for some strange reason, the dog's, I thought it was all about the dog that they were going to do, like, oh, this is a new pet thing that we've got, but no, it is just literally there for comedic value, and J-Borg runs out, or Catborg now, just literally runs out of the building, and the dog chases her. And I've got to admit, the way if it's the actress who did this, like jumping over the tables, like cheesing it out there, dear God, that was spot on. I think it's probably one of my favorite parts of the episode. So the Rangers then go back to training, and when I kind of saw this, I was thinking, hang on a minute, how can you just leave work in the middle of the day and be like, I'm going training? So the Rangers go train. They then meet Slifer, who's transformed into a Rafconian, who basically tricks Zato. She's because this is actually really ingenious as well, because Mucus is actually given the information to Slifer, who knows all about the Rangers, like all the data, everything. I thought, do you know what? That's a really cool thing. I really kind of liked it. I thought it was a very smart move to have rather than not. So she's able to Slifer's able to go around and change certain things, give the information so that the Rangers kind of trust them. Now Solon doesn't trust the new character, the new person. Zato is very trusting. The others are really trusting, and I can understand that to some degree because obviously Slifer has given that information. to each person. But Solomon doesn't kind of understand, or doesn't not understand, but she doesn't trust, and I can understand that. So as she explains like the technology, and this is one thing that I generally kind of thought Solomon would understand. It was more like, she's like, oh, so how do you know this? Like, sporks can't be destroyed, etc., etc. And she's like, oh, like technology is kind of advanced. And she's like, well, I've been looking for like millions of years. And I sat here and I thought this for a while, and I was like, well, hang on a minute. Like, it's been over millions and millions of years. So technology on Rafcon's going to advance rather than what's happening in the ship, because the ship won't advance because there's no technology or kind of materials to make it more advanced. So you kind of think that they would have bought this a little bit more, but unfortunately, no, they didn't. Slifer then transforms because he's in his own room. He's kind of resting and stuff like that to try and trick them. And then tells Void Knight that, he can get the Sporax, it's no problem, but he needs to kind of, he needs a distraction. So the Rangers are called downtown because Void Knight and the henchmen are all there fighting. And I love this. I kind of, I liked this like little thing because it leads into something else. The Rangers are fighting Void Knight and henchmen. You see Slifer actually turn around and try and take the Sporax, but Solomon does kind of turn around and trick her in a way, or trick him by feeding him dog biscuits from Rafcon. And I generally kind of thought, well, hang on a minute, what happens if, like, out of the most weirdest thing in the world, that if Slifer was a proper Raftonian, what happens if it's like the one person likes dog biscuits and it's just like, this is actually what I kind of like to eat? People eat weird things. So I kind of thought that would have been a main issue, but no, it wasn't. And I've got to admit, this next part was a fantastic thing. Slifer fights Solomon. Like, they literally teleport out of the base and they have a fight. And I was like, do you know what? I kind of like this because it showed that Solomon isn't just a tech person, isn't just a person to a mentor or a guide or whatever. And I generally really liked it. I goddamn liked it. It was so cool. It was just a really awesome kind of like scene. But in the end, Slifer wins. Slifer goes back to the base. Solomon's been defeated. She's malfunctioning. She's short-circuiting. The Rangers then teleport back in, and Zato sticks about and helps out. Slifer, that's the word. Helps her out, but then tricks him by grabbing his arm and finding out what's actually happening. They teleport out of the base, having a fight. Now, this is the part where I really liked, because the places that they fought were very matched with Super Sentai. Like, it wasn't just a quick thing. It's very subtle. So switching back between normal and Sentai footage was really, oh my god, what the hell, this is cool. I really liked it. Now, you probably wouldn't be able to tell at all if they changed it if it wasn't for little things. So like, one of the main things you see on the floor is like, says like keep clear or stuff like that, but in the Sentai footage there isn't. But it was matched perfectly. Like, I found it very kind of like, if I didn't know about that or didn't kind of pick up on it, I would be like, do you know what the hell, this is wow. I generally like the matching. The matching is getting 10 times better. So there's quite a few scenes where they start fighting, and then Slifer turns into the previous monster from the previous episode, the chicken monster, and they start having a fight. But one thing that did kind of take me out of this, and I think this didn't need to put in, or it could be put in beforehand, was the fact that Jane finds J-Borg as the cat in the garbage, and she obviously takes the collar off, so therefore it reverts back. So I just felt that this was a weird kind of place to kind of put it. I just didn't kind of, it took me out of the fight a bit. But Slifer then gets defeated, and then obviously he loses his memory because obviously from the attack, and this therefore we switch back to the Rangers, and Solomon is there all the way back, kind of like being repaired and saying like, Zato's like, oh hey, like I'm really sorry, and Solomon's like, oh, I don't care, I've fed you dog food, we're even. I'm like, that's not even close. But dear God, it was a fun episode. I really enjoyed it. I love the subtle changes of Sentai. A new monster voiced by Campbell Cooley, and I absolutely love it. It made me smile. So I absolutely adored this episode. This was a great episode. To me, this was one of the best ones that we've had, and it just felt like, you can trick the Rangers, you can trick them, and it's not that hard to do it. But yeah, I generally really loved this episode. It was one of my favorites. I can't wait to see the rest of the series. I'm now pumped for the next episode. So I'm going to leave it there. Like, again, as I say, everything in this episode was great. Like the matching of the footage, you know, new characters bring it. Oh, God, it's a good episode. I'm going to love watching the next episode. Please don't suck episode 11. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. What do you think about this episode? Have you seen it? It's all on Netflix right now, so go watch it if you want to. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。